Let's talk about something that has been kept in the shadows for way too long. Rymir Carter, he's 32 now, has been chasing just one thing his whole life, the truth. And honey, what he's uncovered about Jay-Z, it's jaw-dropping. So rewind to the early 90s, 1992 to be exact. Rymir's mom, Wanda, was just a teenager, barely 16. She meets Jay-Z, who was already in his 20s, doing his thing in the music scene. They hit it off, had a brief relationship, and boom, Wanda ends up pregnant. But here's where it all goes dark. The second Wanda tried to tell Jay-Z she was pregnant, poof, he vanished. No calls, no support, no acknowledgement, nothing. Just silence.
I was present. I heard it come out of her mouth. Wanda was a minor. A minor when she got pregnant with Rymir. And like Wanda always said, he picked her up in Philly, but he took her to New York across state lines to bed her while she was allegedly underage. Even though Lily was present when Rymir was born. She was very clear on the fact that Wanda was a minor when she was pregnant.
And hold on, because this is where the story turns from scandalous to possibly criminal. Wanda was underage, and there are claims, yes, actual claims, that she was taken from Philly all the way to New York. If that's true, we're not just talking bad behavior. That's serious, like illegal serious.
I think his mom was underage or something when he was born, so I think that's probably...
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said again, it's not the same as now.
But is the mom still alive?
No, she died. She died.
Huh.
She was 15 when she had him.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old was Jay?
Like 20-something, I guess.
Oh.
Like 20, probably early 20, like 24.
We don't know if it's true. This is just
No,
all
but I'm saying he took the DNA thing with the it was ancestry type shit. I think he got like somebody popped up on it, like because he got different kids that's in different places. I mean, my thing is this: if I got $1 billion, right, I would want to have a lot of kids. You my kid. I got so much money. I don't give a fuck. You my kid or not.
You get some sperm. You get some sperm.
No,
you
my
get some
kid. You know what I'm
sperm.
saying? If you are my kid, I f your mom, and you my kid. Even if I want to be around you, don't want to see you, don't want to. If I want the world to know, I would
Right,
say,
but think about that.
So Wanda kept this painful secret from her son for years. Imagine carrying that kind of weight. But when Rymir got older, she finally sat him down and told him everything. Everything. And from that moment on, Rymir was on a mission. He wanted to know the truth. Was Jay-Z really his father? But every time he took one step forward, the system shoved him 2 steps back. Papers mysteriously went missing. Lawyers dropped out. Judges got unavailable. Like, what kind of game is being played here? It felt like someone powerful was determined to keep this buried forever.
On the love child Rymir, Jay-Z, he's come out and said this is just long-term harassment, man. He's like, this thing just won't go away.
Long-term harassment. You know how disrespectful that is to a man that looks almost identical to you?
Yeah, that's his child. That's very disrespectful. I mean,
to a man that chances are, just out of nowhere, random universal selection, this boy who's not related to you has your nose, has your mouth, has your brow line, has your hairline, same straight knobby knees, is like all of this just by accident. Just by accident. It's just a coincidence that this man looks like he could be your Irish twin. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you what I do know. I do know that I have listened to actual commentary from his godmother, Lily, who sat with a friend of mine, Liz Crokin.
And guess what? Jay-Z still hasn't taken a DNA test, not once. Rymir isn't even chasing money. He's been loud and clear about that. He just wants the truth. But instead, he's been slapped with legal hurdles, endless silence, and now, wait for it, a reported gag order. They're really trying to shut this man up.
I think it's the girl like Tasha K. She got a Jay-Z son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first, he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker, didn't like approve of it. She said no. Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just wanted dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. I mean, that's why. So I told him when he called me 2 years ago, I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're gonna think I'm trying to catch rep off of it. So let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. I mean, then I can talk about it. But he called me like 2 years ago, telling me like, I mean, I said, oh, young boy. He's like, I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was like 20 something at the time. I mean, but something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and there was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go like call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order against him, like trying to get a gag order and try to. If my thing is, if this not my son, I just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you dodging and whatever, to me,
Don't nobody want to talk about the other kids that everybody denies don't exist and whatever. To be a billionaire that can't get a loan is one thing. But to be a broke billionaire and a deadbeat dad, that's something different.
Yeah. Even Solange's son, the Daniel kid, he says he doesn't have a great relationship with Beyonce, Jay-Z. What do you feel someone coming out saying, hey, Jay-Z's my father? What does that person want from a Hov if he's saying he does not care?
To prove that his mother wasn't a liar, because that's what they said his entire life while she was alive. Denying him makes her a liar. That woman was on the phone with the judge who was harassing her, telling her, demanding that she stop filing for paternity when she gave way and died. His mama died on the phone. Trying to get proper acknowledgement for him. If your mama died like that, would you just sit around and let people keep calling her a liar? That's how your mama died, with a judge yelling at her. And turns out now, all of these judges were bought off and paid off, and they're going to be looking at sanctions and probably charges. Because what they did was illegal.
And let's not forget Beyonce. Allegedly, she's been doing damage control behind the scenes. Sources say her people warned Rymir to stay away. And not long after, someone randomly shows up at his property. Coincidence? Please. Rymir has always been sure about it. Jay-Z is his dad, no doubt in his mind. He's even talked about how dangerous and unstable life became in Philly after his so-called father abandoned them. He and Wanda were out there on their own.
I wouldn't know how he feeling. Like, I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling at this time. You just can think that this person knows and thinking about it and stuff like that. I really want to know how I am. So my mom did tell me she went in there and filed a fraternity test, and it just, basically I can say it was a whole lot of running around with that case. It was a whole lot of things that wasn't, what can I say, we didn't have enough information to push the case. That's what I basically can say. We didn't have enough information to keep the case going. So it was a big case to me because I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was. But I really feel like it should have been over with because I feel like if it was anybody else, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy. I really try not to get frustrated, basically. I really try not to think about it, I go on with my life because, anything could happen, but, I still gotta live for myself at the end of the day, I still gotta work and bring in income for me, I can't sit around, I gotta get up off my feet and do something. You know, I can't wait on the world. Like I can't say, you know, I can't wait on anybody to want to respond when they want to. It is important that I know who my biological father is, just because, you know, my mom's health, I don't know if it's coming from our family or it's coming from the other side, and that would be something I really would want to find out, because, you know, in the future, you don't know what could happen. And a lot of people are so quick to judge because they see somebody coming out and try to find out if the person, you know, trying to find out things, they so negative to push you down. Like, you know, people are just so quick to judge a person that's a low, I wouldn't say low income, but somebody that doesn't have it, and somebody that does, they always think, you know, you coming after that person's money, or they never look at the full story and things like that. It was rough, you know, living in Philadelphia. You know, it was a hard city. Like, you know, it started to get wilder as the years went on. Like, you know.
Have you ever been in a situation where you were almost killed?
I have been. I wouldn't say the crossfire was for me, but it was people. Like, it was a couple shootings that I have been around, but it wasn't for me. Like, it wasn't intended for me or nothing like that. It's just, you know, it's dangerous.
And really, can someone please explain why Jay-Z won't just take the test? If he's not the father, prove it and shut it all down. Simple, right? But nope. Instead, he spent years and God knows how much money dodging this thing like it's a plague. Why? What is he hiding?
Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay-Z, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young, and, you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even until I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is, like, cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like, I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with. I work every day. I also have my own kids to take care of. So it's like, it's been a journey for me, and it's just like, you know, I just got so much on my name right now. I never ask for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I work for everything. Next is, I'm just trying to basically make sure no other kids or nobody else in the world has to go through this. Basically, don't feel afraid to go to court and see if a person is your biological parents. You know, so many people are scared, and this is a big thing in the world. A lot of people don't have their fathers because they scared.
What really breaks hearts is how Wanda was allegedly treated. Just picture it. A scared teenage girl, pregnant and left in the dust by one of the most powerful men in music. No support, no care. And now her son, all grown up, is asking for basic answers and still getting a cold wall of silence. Recently, a judge gave the green light for the case to finally move forward. Jay-Z had a deadline, July 18th, to respond. And let me tell you, the fact that this lawsuit was even filed, that shook things up, because Jay-Z isn't just a rapper. He's a billion-dollar brand, a polished legacy. And if even part of this is true, that legacy could come crashing down. We're talking scandal, not just oops, I had a secret kid drama, but serious 30-year-old life-ruining allegations. And Beyonce? Sources say she wasn't even mad about the cheating because, let's be honest, that's old news. She was furious because it was messy, because he didn't handle it. This drama could have burned their entire empire to the ground, before Blue Ivy was winning awards, before Parkwood became a powerhouse. And if you believe what Scooper Monroe says, the Carters' relationship, it's way more strained than they let on.
He, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know. For some reason, y'all like to conveniently forget what age Foxy Brown was when he was with her. Y'all like to forget that he was rolling with R. Kelly and they was doing a lot of things together. Y'all like to forget a lot of that, right? But good PR, good marketing, and the fact that, you know, Jay-Z got a lot of this industry on lock. So he's able to keep a lot of things hush-hush. He's very powerful, and Beyonce is too. But they are still black, and this industry is not. The people that run it, they are not, okay? So when they're done with you and it's your turn to be exposed, you're going to be exposed too. So long story short, I told y'all Diddy was first, but they're not done with him. More people are going to come out. What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jason Lee. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce him. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, "Oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah." Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows. She was ready to leave him years ago, but the industry it's different. And I don't want to say it's an Illuminati contract, because I don't know how the Illuminati get down. I really don't know. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. But essentially, she's been stuck, right? But I believe this is going to be her chance to get out. And according to what I heard, if certain things that I can't even speak on come out, she gone. She's gonna protect her image. All right. And this, I mean, I don't know what would be the bigger divorce, Will and Jada or Beyonce and Jay-Z. But just know everybody's
Back in Philly, Rymir wasn't giving up, not even close. After Wanda passed away, literally dying while begging a judge for justice, Rymir hardened. The sweet boy with Jay-Z's eyes became a man with nothing left to lose. And now it wasn't just about proving paternity anymore. It was about truth. It was about exposing corruption. It was about going up against power. And then came the bombshell, a leak. Someone, either a fed-up court clerk or someone with a motive, dropped a confidential affidavit online. First it hit Reddit, then it exploded on Twitter. And guess what it claimed? That a judge had ordered a DNA test back in 2011. And the results? A kilensven egez kilensvenjolchi shazad shazalek match. But the order? Never enforced? Buried? Silenced? If that's true? Oh, Jay-Z's in deep trouble, because this wouldn't just be a who's your daddy moment. It could trigger investigations into how he allegedly treated a teenage girl, and tie into those old rumors about his relationship with Foxy Brown. And about Wanda? Apparently Jay-Z's legal team got the whole thing thrown out on a technicality. And get this, the judge who signed off on it retired 6 months later and bought a $3 million mansion in Turks and Caicos under an LLC. What kind of shady fairy tale is this? By the time mainstream outlets like CNN and TMZ picked it up, the internet was on fire. Side-by-sides of Jay-Z and Rymir were everywhere. Hashtags like deadbeat billionaire were trending on X. Saturday Night Live even teased a parody skit, My Billionaire Dad. And 50 Cent? Oh, he was loving it, sitting on a yacht in Miami sipping champagne, posting, I tried to warn y'all, it was never beef, it was accountability. Whew, this was no longer just messy celebrity tea. This was full-on war, bloodlines, brands, billions, and the world was watching. And then, just when the tension hit boiling point, on July 27th, Rymir dropped his federal lawsuit. Just like that, people were like, wait, what? Did he give up? Nope. In a video he posted on Instagram, Rymir cleared it all up. I did withdraw my case, he said, but we got to step back and play chess, not checkers. It wasn't a surrender, it was a pause. Let that sink in. He's not giving up. He's just switching tactics. And honestly, that's smart. Because when you're going up against someone with Jay-Z's power, influence, and endless money, you've got to be strategic. You don't walk into the fire. You set the timing and light the match when it counts.
About the fact that he is currently suing his first biological son to quiet him and put a gag order on him. Why would he be doing that? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Rymir's mother was a minor when she conceived Rymir with Mr. Carter, who was a grown adult. What kind of family man is that? You don't want anyone to know, you or your wife, don't want anyone to know who your actual biological children are, because most of them were created with minors while you were an adult. He's been in court with this young man for the past decade, fighting taking a DNA test. If he's not your kid, take the DNA test. Simple. If the young man is not your son, why have you spent so much money trying not to take a DNA test? Take the DNA test if he ain't your kid. You're such a proud family man. While you fight back the truth about your firstborn biological son, because you don't want nobody to know that his mama was barely 15 when you made her a mother and you were a grown man. I'm here.
Yeah.
Him and Blue Ivy got the same.
I'm hoping he got paid. I'm hoping he got something for this, and that's why he's going away, but it don't look like it. But then if Jay-Z does give him a settlement, he's not going to talk about it publicly, of course. I don't know. But who are we to get mad at Rymir if his life was really being threatened and he like, you know what? I'm going to just go and withdraw. Because here's the thing, right? Jay-Z has a certain image, and Jay-Z has been able to keep this story quiet, keep it hush-hush, but there is something to it. Even if he's not this biological man, because it's a grown man, biological man's father, he must have slept with his mother. Like, he know who his mother is. Because if this was just a complete stranger and you had never slept with his mama, you would have been like, I didn't know who your mother was. Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. And you wouldn't give a damn about giving us some DNA. Or you would at least come out and say, I don't know who you are. So, what I will say is that between Rymir's mother, his late mother, and Jay-Z, there must have been a relationship. And see, the problem with you, Jay-Z, when you was in your 20s, you was dicking and dodging. You was giving out meat everywhere. Let's just keep it real. A dude like Jay-Z, you was Jay-Z. You started off being what, Jazzy, then it went to Jay-Z. You was doing your thing. You got a bunch of kids up in Maryland and up in that area. You know what I mean? Allegedly, Don't come for me. I'm just saying, Did you really want us to believe that Blue Ivy was your first child, Jay-Z? Well, actually, Beyonce was pregnant before that with the baby. And I think they was going to name that baby Brooklyn. And then she lost that baby. And then she got pregnant with Blue when she was shooting the cover of the album 4. They were in Paris. They had some good hot sex that late night, early morning. And then Beyonce got up with his nuts still in her and went and shot the shot. And she was like, ooh, we just got it in last night. And didn't know she was pregnant at the time. Okay, so I guess I'm a real Beehive fan. Anyway, with that being said, not me knowing your ovulation, I say all that to say, like, did you really want us to believe?
And let's make something clear. Rymir wasn't out here begging for child support or trying to cash in on the Carter name. This wasn't about back pay or designer gifts. This was about emotional distress, about reputation damage, about being gaslit and shut down by an empire. In his lawsuit, Rymir came with receipts, accusing Jay-Z of doing everything in his power to block the truth, allegedly committing fraud in court, twisting facts, playing the legal system like it's Monopoly. And guess what? It's worked so far. The federal lawsuit might be on pause, but Rymir's fight, far from over. He's not backing down. He's regrouping. And the next move could be massive. As for Jay-Z, this was a temporary win, but it's fragile, because if Rymir's claims are even partly true, Jay-Z's entire world, the fame, the legacy, the Carter brand, could crack wide open. Think about it. He built an empire off hustle, precision, and pristine public image, but all of that could unravel, not because of his lyrics or business deals, but because of a teenage girl girl from Philly who he allegedly wronged decades ago and the son she brought into this world, and now that son has grown up, he's not a scared kid anymore. He's a man who's looking the biggest name in music dead in the eye and saying, you can't silence the truth forever. This whole thing has exposed something deeper than just celebrity secrets. It's about power imbalance, how the rich can twist the system, how someone with no billions, no team, no brand behind them can spend decades just trying to be heard and still get shut out. And if Rymir's next move is as calculated as it sounds, Jay-Z better be ready, because this story, it's far from over.